Wait, what about weird?
Hi, I'm Elena.
And I'm Echo.
And this is What About Weird, a podcast dissecting all things weird from cryptids and aliens to strange science and unhinged history. This week is the sort of part 2 to last week's, what was it,
Psychoactive
plants. This is the animal version of that. And this episode was sort of spawned when we recorded an episode with Greg's Cryptid Corner, and he made a joke about our podcast confusing him and him thinking that he could lick lizards and trip, and that's what this episode is about. I said I would report back, and I am. But we're talking about more than just lizards today. I have a whole host of animals for you. So last week, we did a disclaimer of if you decide to partake in the toxins of any of these things, that is entirely on you. So I just want to reiterate that. We do not advise you to try any of these for legal reasons. If you decide to do any of them, that is entirely on you. Most of these are toxic. That's that legal disclaimer out of the way. So when you think of animals and what psychoactive properties they have, you probably think of something with them being poisonous or venomous. We've been over this before. A lot of people don't know the difference between poison and venom, and I will sometimes use them interchangeably, but I want to clarify the difference between poison and venom. Venom is injected, think through a sting or a bite, and it's usually a larger molecule, making it harder to be absorbed. Don't drink it. Do not drink poison. It can still be absorbed in your stomach, but it's usually injected directly into the bloodstream. So for animals that have venom, think copperhead snakes, black widows, platypus, box jellyfish. Yes, platypus are poisonous. It adds to the weirdness of that. Venomous. They are also poisonous. But that's just because that is just because of the venom. It is a toxin. Like I said, I do get them mixed up sometimes. Poison and venom mixed up. But so poison is absorbed through the skin, mucous membrane, or digestion. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, a mucous membrane is like your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your squishy down under bits. So anything that can be absorbed through something like that. So think dart frogs, mushrooms, pufferfish, poison ivy. Everything that we talked about last week was poisonous. So I'm going to be talking about some stuff that's poisonous and some stuff that's venomous. A general rule to remember is if it bites you and you die, it was venomous. If you bite it and you die, it was poisonous. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I accidentally wrote poisonous instead of venomous here because I'm a goofball.
At least you knew that was wrong.
I knew it was wrong. But so that is the difference between poison and venom. I may get a little titchy if you call poison venom, but I understand calling venom poison. That's usually how a lot of people confuse it. If you read any sort of like academic papers, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna call it toxin. They're gonna call it absorbed toxin, injected toxin, whatever. So I may call it toxin, I may call it venom, I may call it poison. Generally, I'm going to try and keep them straight. If I mess up, I'm only human. If I mess up, just take me out to the woods and shoot me. I'm
the most extreme version.
Yes. But so now you guys know the difference. So we're going to start with So last week, we talked a lot about the chemistry of a lot of these things. So since that's already covered, I'm not going to get too much into it. I have a little bit of that, but if you want more of the chemistry and the organic chemistry side of things, go and listen to last week's episode. I'm going to be talking a lot more about biology and effects of things. This episode may be a little all over the place because I did not read through my notes before I did this. So first up, we have the Colorado river toad. This is one of the most known psychedelic or psychoactive animals. It's native to the southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico. The Colorado river toad can grow to be about 190 millimeters or 7.5 inches, and it is the largest toad in the United States apart from the non-native cane toad, which fuck cane toads, they're invasive. Just think of a toad in your brain, now make it green. That's what this thing looks like. I mean, a lot of toads are brown, at least around here they're brown. Look this up so you can have eyes on.
Oh my god, he's so cute!
I know, it's so incredibly cute. He looks so grumpy.
Oh my god.
But see what I mean? You picture a Toad, now make him green.
Yeah, he's very...
he looks like
rotund.
Toad.
Yeah, like Toad from Frog and Toad. That's exactly what he looks like.
He looks like if you think about a Toad, this is what he looks like. Just with, like, very yellow eyes. He always looks like he's squinting and sleepy, but it's just because the way his pupils are. Their pupils are. I'm saying he. I'm like, look at the little guy. He's such a little cutie patootie. Anyway, so the Colorado River Toad is, it produces a poison. A lot of sources will say it's a venom, but it is a poison since it can be absorbed through the skin, and it's not injected. So this poison is known as 5-MeO-DMT, or 5-methyloxy N-N dimethyltryptamine. We talked about dimethyltryptamine last week, but this is a different variety of it, and it's an extremely potent version of DMT, which is usually considered to be about 4 to 6 times more powerful than the other forms of DMT.
Jeez Louise! It'll fuck you up!
Yeah, and it is, for a long time, it was taken by licking the back of the toad, but now it's more commonly consumed by, like, scraping the excretions from the toad, or milking their poison glands and drying it out and then smoking that.
That's actually kind of concerning, because I know a lot of dogs that will, like, stick toads in their mouths.
Oh my god. I have been fighting my dogs not to eat bees lately, and it's driving me insane.
I mean, surely it could kill your dog if they...
It can kill you!
If they put this toad in their mouth, so that's not great.
Yeah, no, it can kill you if you do it wrong. So, for a really long time, shamans throughout Mexico and the southwest of the United States have been harvesting and smoking, or in one way or another, intaking this form of DMT from this toad. However, it really gained popularity with psychonauts in the early 2000s. Like I said in our last episode, it's always the white guys and the hippie ladies with dreads, the white hippie ladies with dreads, that were like, let's do this. So the effects of it can take hold in about 5-ish minutes or so after ingesting, and it can cause what's considered like a religious experience, and trips that last about an hour. Individuals that have taken it often describe it as being one with the universe, or feeling reborn, or feeling a total fusion with God. Seeing bright colors, seeing moving things, a bunch of patterns, but it can leave you immobile and unresponsive, and it can cause a lot of convulsions and vomiting, and a lot of people will be laying down taking this and start vomiting and aspirate, where they, like, you basically drown in your own throw up.
Yeah. Sorry,
that's gross, and it should not be taken for fun, because it can kill you in large doses, or if you're not properly doing it, or you don't have someone who's taking care of you while you take it, you're not doing it with someone who knows what they're doing. So just generally avoid it, because like we said, it is 5 times stronger than most other forms of DMT, like the ones we were talking about through the plants of last week's episode. But yeah, no, that one is crazy. And that's one of the more known psychedelics. Like, if you think, what psychedelic animals are there? If you just type that in, it's going to be the first thing that comes up. So next up, we have the fire salamander. Common throughout most of Central Europe, the fire salamander is a black salamander with yellow splotches.
Oh, I've seen pictures of those.
There is a salamander, I think it's called the spotted salamander. I'd have to look into it because I didn't write it down. In the United States, that looks very similar.
Okay, that's
the difference is the one in the United States is more round dots. The one in Europe has, like, long splotchy dots, and these can be yellow to, like, a reddish orange color spots. And there are many different types of fire salamander, but one specifically that we're going to be talking about today has psychedelic secretions to it. I was a big old dummy and forgot to write the scientific name down, but that's okay because I can't pronounce it anyway. The fire salamander has a very long lifespan. One specimen lived for more than 50 years in a German natural history museum.
Jeez,
This is
that's a long
longer.
time.
This is longer than the Eastern Hellbender, which, if you remember from our Snot Otters episode, could live about 30 years. So this is
that's like the lifespan of like humans in some cases. Like that's crazy.
So this salamander secretes a lipid or fat-soluble steroidal alkaloid called samandarin. Throws me off. Samandarin. This subspecies of salamander that has this compound is a key ingredient in the Slovenian drink called salamander brandy. Salamander brandy, it's a drink where basically you take one of these fire salamanders and you make tea with it.
Like you boil the salamander?
You boil it with brandy and it takes out this compound, and then people will drink it, and it will give them various hallucinations and stuff. It'll make things feel very unnaturally colorful and add like glitter around the edges of stuff, like light sparkles. You know what like when you stand up too fast.
Oh yeah,
it's like that, but around the edge of anything that's like lit up. So like the tops of trees where it's dark, and then the top of the tree where it's lighter. You put a glitter effect around anything that's brighter. So it makes everything seem slightly off, like you're in a dream world. So that is the fire salamander. Next up, we have Serpa salapa. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
I like that name, Serpa salapa.
There's another it has like 3 scientific names. It's weird. But it's also known as the dream fish. So it's a small, like, silver and gold, or like bluish silver and gold fish found around the Arabian Peninsula. Oh, I have the other name here. Salama porgi is another name for it.
Okay.
And it contains a toxin within it that has effects that are very, very similar to LSD. So people will take it for like religious reasons or for fun. A lot of people will take it as a recreational drug. The effects can last for days, and a lot of people report seeing demonic hallucinations from it. So why you'd take that for fun is beyond me. But yeah, a lot of people will have really bad trips after consuming the dream fish, and they'll have like demonic hallucinations. In one case of two men ate it and described hearing human screams and birds squealing, and was not able to drive anymore after seeing giant anthropods around his car.
You should not take these substances and drive your car.
Yeah, don't do visually mind-altering substances and drive.
My God, dude.
But it basically puts you into like a dream-like state, hence why it's called the dream fish. But it is it's at its highest toxic levels during fall, when instead of making you just, trip balls, you'll just fucking die.
Oh!
You'll trip balls as you die.
Why does the concentration fluctuate based on the season? Do you know?
I did not write that down, but I'm assuming it probably has something to do with like mating season or something. You know how salmon will basically turn into a different species during spawning season?
Huh.
Or it has maybe something to do with the temperature. I don't know. I should have looked into that, but I didn't. Because I was trying to make this a quicker episode.
Or, maybe it's like that's like the time of the year that they get predated upon the most, and it's like to kill off predators?
Maybe. I did not look into it. So generally, it is the head of the fish that has the most toxins and the most psychedelic effect, and the body of the fish is a lot safer. But if it's improperly prepared, the whole thing can be toxic. I would say, just generally, don't do it.
I have no desire to eat some random fish enough to possibly get poisoned. Like, if someone was like, this is a highly poisonous fish, except when we prepare it this certain way.
So you wouldn't eat that puffer fish?
No, absolutely not. I'm good.
Yeah, no, me neither. There's a really interesting Gastro Obscura article about it. Gastro Obscura is the, like, food version of Atlas Obscura. It's just, like, instead of just about weird places, it's about weird food. But there's a really interesting article about that where I got a lot of the sources for that about. But yeah, there were a lot of fish. So for my jumping off point, I found a collection, like a list collection and some sources from the Library of Congress website, which, you know, in this day and age, take everything from the government with a grain of salt. Generally, the Library of Congress has stayed pretty consistent, but there were so many fish. Holy cow. I could have done an entire episode just on fish. I decided not to.
That's really interesting, though, that it is mostly fish.
Yeah.
Like fish and amphibians.
Fish and amphibians.
Like things that are... Amphibians are like half water.
I mean, almost everything I found was reptiles, fish, or amphibians, or spiders. I don't think I have any spiders in here, but in the realm of fish... We have a sea sponge. Let me see if I can pronounce it, because it's only a scientific name. Orongula rigidia. Sounds right. There's a toxin produced by this that has a really interesting effect where in small doses, it acts as a antidepressant for most antidepressant-resistant forms of depression. So it activates and it reacts to the 5-HT2B and sigma-1 receptors.
So it's mimicking serotonin.
Yep.
Okay.
And this one isn't psychoactive in the sense of, like, it makes you trip, but it gives you that serotonin feel. Yeah. And they being pharmaceutical researchers and developers, are currently trying to turn this into a antidepressant for antidepressant-resistant forms of depression.
That's actually kind of cool.
Which is so cool to me.
That is so neat.
This is, like, don't go out there and track this down, because there's some chemicals within it, some compounds within it that are highly toxic and will kill you, but this specific compound will, this one compound in it will act as an antidepressant. So, not only does it act as an antidepressant, it also increases the ability to bond of serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine, and it inhibits the membrane transporter proteins and blocks the degradation of these neurotransmitters. Sorry, my brain is not working on reading. But so that's cool. It, like, blocks the stuff that's bad, that makes you sad, and it helps the things that make you happy bond, basically. I can't read out loud, so I know I sounded really fucking stupid saying that. But basically, the, like, Cliff Notes version is, like, it mimics serotonin, and it helps serotonin bond better and more effectively within the brain.
Right, which is a lot of what we were talking about in the last episode with the psychoactive plants, but it seems like it's to a less extreme level.
Yeah.
Where it functions like an antidepressant and less like a hallucinogen.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. There's a whole bunch of really interesting science behind this that if anyone's interested, reach out to us and I'll try and send you the article for it. But basically they're working on they discovered that it had this effect, and they're working on trying to make it into an antidepressant, which is so cool to me that, like, there's things like this in nature that we can develop into medications. Like, this isn't a psychoactive thing, but there's a form of sea snail off the coast of California that its toxin works so much better than opiates as a painkiller, and it's so much safer.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's in development that they're turning it into, like, a drug for post-surgery or anyone with chronic pain, because it's
because opioids
so much stronger.
Are fucking terrible. Like, I hate them, and I don't care how much pain I'm in. I will be like, don't fucking give those to me. Do not fucking give those to me. I want nothing to do with them.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Nature is so cool that way, and it's cool that we're like, yeah, this thing can kill you, but if we figure out how to isolate this one thing, it's so good for you, because that was something we were talking about in the last episode, where a lot of these things have one effect or another, but all the side effects are so much worse. So On to the next one. There are a number of forms of snake that have what's considered mind-altering substances, like mind-altering effects to them. This includes various forms of cobra and the Russell's viper. And the Russell's viper is the snake, not... I know we talked about spider, but this is also the snake that will give you a prolonged boner that's really painful. So don't get bit by it, even though it has these effects. If you do it, don't talk to me. So a lot of snakes in these families have a form of toxin that has an anesthetic effect. Will make your brain very fuzzy. And a lot of people will go out of their way to get bit by them to get this like brain fuzzy feeling. However, Russell's vipers and cobras, like, very deadly. Do not go getting bit by them.
No, I just not recommend
because, well, it can lead to this sleepiness and brain fuzz. It'll kill you. It'll give you muscle cramps and diarrhea. And all kinds of crazy stuff.
I mean, the first one, it'll kill you, it should be enough.
Should be enough, but if we learned anything from last episode, it doesn't stop some people. So another snake that will also have these effects are various forms of crate. Spelled with a K, like a cool kid. Crate. So there's a number of snakes that have this, and throughout multiple parts of the world, including Africa, Asia, and Australia, people will go out of their way to get bit by these because people are stupid. And honestly, of the things on this list, this sounds like the second least fun.
Oh, God.
The most unfun is our next one, the Urokanji jellyfish.
Oh, God. Jellyfish scare the shit out of me.
I found out that we have so many various deadly forms of jellyfish off the coast of North Carolina, and it is just one more reason that the ocean is not for us.
This is why you will not catch me in that fucking water.
You're also from the most landlocked state, but yeah. Between the alligators, sharks, and jellyfish, like with my luck, I'd be attacked by an alligator, bitten by a shark, and then stung by a jellyfish.
That sounds fucking terrible.
The Urokanji jellyfish is native to the waters north of Australia, and it is considered one of the most venomous forms of box jellyfish in the world, and it causes a condition in humans known as Urokanji syndrome. So this is a tiny, tiny, itty-bitty little jellyfish. Like, I'm not joking. It's so small that Western science, when I say Western science, I mean like European science, European colonists and stuff, did not identify it until, like, the 60s. Or the 50s? Yeah, the 50s. I wrote...
Okay. That's
I wrote 60s and 50s.
Recent.
So it's a tiny little clear jellyfish that's probably no bigger than your fingernail. And I could do a whole episode on just how they discovered which jellyfish this was. Because there was a guy that went out of his way to get stung by this thing, just stung himself with a bunch of jellyfish to try and figure out what this was, because people were having these symptoms of this sting, the Urokanji syndrome, and they didn't know what it was, and this guy's just getting stung by everything, and he's got his, like, 9-year-old son roped into it and was stinging his 9-year-old son with jellyfish.
What the fuck?
And also a young lifeguard. They all survived, but it was just...
What the
I could do a
hell?
whole thing on that. And according to his papers, he was like, yeah, my son volunteered for this. Like, bitch, he's 9, but okay. So he's doing this so that he knows what the effects are on various types of people, which I just want to say, I noticed that there's no women in there, but you know what? I'll let the men get stung by jellyfish. But a small amount of Urokanji venom can cause excruciating muscle cramps in the arms and legs, severe pain in the back and kidneys, a burning sensation in the face, skin, headaches, nausea, redness, swelling, vomiting, an increased heart rate and blood pressure, and an overwhelming, all-consuming feeling of impending doom.
That's me every day.
That just sounds like what it's like to have a period. Honestly.
Oh my god.
Am I wrong, though?
I mean, not exactly. That's funny, though.
But so there are people that will go out of their way to get stung by this thing. Symptoms can start anywhere from 5 to 120 minutes after being stung. And they can last from hours to weeks. And most victims require hospitalization. It's been found that vinegar can promote the discharge of this jellyfish venom. So they'll pour acids and vinegar on the stings.
So
to help.
Not urine. Do not pee on it.
Don't pee. That does not do anything.
Oh
and also don't pee on jellyfish stings for so many reasons. One, it doesn't do anything. And two, it's just going to get infected because that is literal waste product coming out of your body that has bacteria in it.
Well, and here's the thing. So
don't pee on stings, please.
Urine is technically sterile. Technically. But you notice, when you take a urine sample at a doctor's office, how they want you to, pee a little bit before you pee into the cup. That's because that initial portion of urine is not sterile. It still has, bacteria and stuff in it.
Yeah, the inside bit is sterile. The outside bits are not.
Yeah, so, you still end up with bacteria and stuff. So it's, not great.
Yeah. Like I said, I could do a whole episode on just on the Urokanji jellyfish. I just want to briefly cover it because the effects that it has on the brain with the impending doom, but also having such severe pain that you ask your doctor to kill you might have something to do with the impending doom. Scientists still aren't quite sure why it causes this impending doom, whether it's all of the pain and other symptoms or something else. Aboriginal people in the area have known cures for this for centuries and knew that it was caused by this specific jellyfish for centuries, but the white people did not listen to them and did not, we're well, we don't know what this is, and the natives were no, we know what this is, and they're nope, we don't know what this is, it's a mystery, pure mystery, until, Jack Barnes came along and stung himself, his 9-year-old son, in the lifeguard. So, do you have a story for us over there?
I do. I pulled up a story of somebody that fucking licked one of these toads.
So, yeah, go ahead and read us the toad.
So, this story is called Guys, There Are Monsters, and it's by Average White Guy. I picked it just because he put his name as Average White Guy, and I love that.
I love that for him.
So, it says, in 2022, I took 5 MEO-DMT for the first time in a group ceremony in a yoga studio erected in a suburban back garden.
That was your first mistake.
In a small UK town.
That was your second mistake.
Just being in the UK?
Yes!
Oh,
I'm sorry to our 3 British listeners.
Hey, America's worse right now.
You know what? I take that back. Our first mistake was being in America.
Yeah. This was to be the culmination of 7 years of infant abandonment trauma healing, which began in 2013 with the Hoffman process.
I thought this would be the culmination of 7 years of infant abandonment and just end it there.
I mean, it goes on to say he tried a whole bunch of other shit. We don't care about that.
Yeah, we don't care about your trauma, white man.
We don't care about the time he fucking took magic mushrooms and CBD oil and did some Reiki and past life regression. Stop! For anyone that doesn't get that, listen to the last episode.
We died.
In 2022, my main therapies were Ni Kung, Ayurvedic herbs, and acupuncture.
Ni what?
I don't know what it is. Ni Kung.
That's not what I thought you said.
What did you think I said?
I thought you said Ni come.
That's something different altogether.
I don't want to know what that is. Is Ni Kong?
I don't know what it is. You should look it up. It's spelled Neikung.
Okay, well, I looked up something different. Neikung. Okay. The way I spelled it, apparently there's a game.
Oh, okay. So, not anything too bad.
Okay, so it's basically just like Tai Chi.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's what I thought, but as soon as you clarified, I was like, oh, that sounds like a martial art. Ni Kum is something different I don't want to know about.
The Ayurveda group set my kidneys on fire energetically, and by the time I arrived at
Bro, you got kidney stones.
by the time I arrived at the ceremony 2 months into their course, I was deep in process. There was a mattress in the middle of the ceremony space.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to trust a mattress in the middle of a teepee tent in a British suburb. That sounds like a great way to get encephalitis, herpetitis. All of the diseases combined in one.
Shamanic patterned throws, a toad-themed altar.
Okay, I want a toad-themed altar, though. I need more toads on my altar.
And 8-5 MEO-DMT newbies, including the sorts of serious hippies who lived in vans during winter. Add 2 large gongs on stands and enough musical bits and pieces for a full gong bath.
So you remember what I was saying about white hippies with dreads? This is exactly what I'm talking about.
The source was an actual toad, rather than synthetic, and administered in single-use glass globes with straight funnels. The facilitators were...
I'm trying to picture single-use glass globes with funnels. There's a chemistry thing. I don't know the name of it. Are they squishing the toads in the glass?
What is happening?
Because he said it's from an actual toad.
Yeah, like the source was an actual toad. It wasn't synthetic.
Is he saying that they told him it was from a toad, and then they did this, or is he saying that he watched them harvest this? Or are they shoving toads in glasses and they're like licking them?
The toad was there. I don't know how it got from toad to mouth.
Leave the damn toads alone.
This is the facilitators were dedicated professionals in vast psychedelic experience. One had worked as a clinical psychotherapist, including in secure units in prisons. I feel like there's a reason she doesn't do it anymore, and maybe it's because she doesn't have her fucking license anymore.
That's what I was gonna say. Unless somebody has a degree in, like, brain chemistry, I'm not gonna trust anyone that says they're a professional in psychedelics. Unless you are, like, a healer or a, like, shaman, for lack of better word, or, like, a medicine man in a culture where this is a thing. I'm not gonna trust you saying you're a professional.
No. Having watched 7 other people go through their experience and channel everything from rage to past life murder to bliss and connection.
And this guy was like, I'm still gonna do this shit.
I thought I was prepared. This was especially the case since I had savings, no job to go back to, a loving girlfriend, and a safe and tidy flat. I inhaled the gray smoke, no idea of dosage, so they're vaporizing it in, like, I think you're right of it being like the chemistry thing, where they're vaporizing the toad secretions and, like, inhaling it.
Yeah, so they must
have put, like, the secretions from the toad in the bottom of that, and then they're, like, heating it up to vaporize it and then smoking it. That makes most sense.
Yeah, Redder Flask. That's what I was picturing as one of these guys.
Because that's what I kind of thought, but I wasn't quite sure how the toad was involved in that way. But yeah, that makes sense. So I think they're taking the secretions from the toad and putting it in that, and then heating it up to vaporize it, and people are, like, smoking it from the funnle.
Yeah, probably what I'm imagining, though, is this just the toad sitting in the little bowl of the Redder Flask.
Terrible.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, it looks like it straight up looks like a orb with a little, like, pipe coming off the top.
Okay, so he goes on, I inhaled the gray smoke, no idea of dosage, saw some gray smoke writing arranged geometrically as a ring around my field of vision, faded to black, and woke up to disaster. My trip had been hijacked by occultist heroin addicts in Bristol who had been meddling with stuff way beyond their pay grade, and I was the one dying on my ass for their failures.
Wait, so
what is this guy talking about?
Is this part of his trip, or is he saying that his instructors were meth addicts from Bristol?
Or that the meth addicts from Bristol hijacked their session.
He's in the middle of tripping, and the meth addicts from Bristol came in and are like, "Oi, bruv, we're taking this shit over." I can't do accents. I'm sorry. To our 2 British listeners. We had 3, and I just insulted them out of here. I'm sorry. To our 1 British listener.
Okay.
If I just keep insulting them, it'll be fine.
I tried to take charge of my experience, receiving wormhole after wormhole of downloads on what to do and who to tell to contact who.
Yeah, I think the guy wrote this on Toad Venom.
I'm so concerned with this man. And watched as this information forced people who hadn't spoken to each other in years to interact.
This man is dead on toad toxin and writing this through a Ouija board. Because that's the only way that this shit makes sense.
I shouted alternately, "Guys, there are monsters, and oh my god, the Bristol scene is toxic."
The real monsters were the Bristol meth heads we met along the way.
I've never been to Bristol, but I'm just gonna start saying that. Oh my god, the Bristol scene is toxic.
There's monsters. I mean, did you see that thing that I sent to the Discord about the Bristol Mothman?
Yes. I did see that.
Okay,
They're
so
like, did you mean meth man?
So
Well, this is the meth people.
If you're from Bristol, you do meth, regardless if it's Bristol in the UK or Bristol, Tennessee. So for those of you who don't know, there have been supposedly some sightings of Mothman over Bristol, Tennessee, and I looked it up because I was curious, and the first thing that comes up is the Facebook group for Bristol, Tennessee, and the top comment is, "Nah, man, that's meth," or "Nah, that's meth man. Totally different." So
Not Mothman, meth man.
So if I've learned anything, if you're from a town called Bristol, you do meth.
Okay, it goes on.
The Bristol scene is toxic, and there's monsters.
Soon, I was abandoned, paramedics pumping my system with tranquilizers to reduce my hysterically high heart rate. I was dying. There was a thing I couldn't think my way out of. Anticipate. I saw my body black with the dust of karma, some metallic threads beneath, almost completely invisible. The paramedic on my right winked. I heard the low hum of an Indian mantra, and I relaxed and accepted with resignation. My entire miserable junkie experience flashed before my eyes, and I realized that there could not have been any other way. That this was what there was, and that was it. To be clear, there was no actual paramedics involved. This was all happening within the trip. Wow, so this guy is fucked up. Holy shit. I woke up again as I was being reborn. The genuine first point of view experience.
Yeah, I was talking about the reborn bit in my thing.
Yeah, of being an infant in the birth canal. Alarm. Legs kicking furiously as golden energy coursed down my central channel and along my inner leg lines. Breath, confusion, touch. The facilitator's there with a gentle hand in just the right place. A touch here, a brush there, music. Gradual stabilization of my hammering heart. I've never been a junkie, not in this life. I worked in support functions in financial services and had a typical striving upper middle class lifestyle. I'd never dabbled with occultism, nor did I know any of the people whose character and failings and names I so confidently experienced. What I'd had was a system overload so huge that I accepted my death, and as soon as I did, I received rebirth. About a week later, I had a huge awakening, like sitting on an erupting volcano in the middle of a hurricane.
Yeah, he was finally not on psychedelics.
Waves of heat and cold, pins and needles, a general sense that things had gone very badly wrong. I got in touch with my acupuncturist that day.
Go to
An actual fucking
medical doctor.
Yeah, literally. His standard needles bounced off of my skin within half an hour.
Yeah, because you have so much hypertension and high blood pressure and your muscles are so tense that he cannot work the needle into you. That's why.
Dude, this guy needs to actually go to a medical professional. I'm gonna read these next few sentences, and I can't with this fucking man.
Why is it always
Holy
middle-class
shit.
white men?
Within half an hour, a larger needle through the top of my head, 2 on the inside of my knees, and not much else, had brought the energy down. Apparently, my heart chakra had been glowing like a ruby laser.
Okay, I
This
know
man is
I
out of his
shouldn't.
fucking mind.
I know I shouldn't throw stones in glass houses as a practicing witch, but shut the fuck up, dude. Okay.
This guy, he needs more help, and not in the ways that he is doing it.
No, this stuff can be, like, going to an acupuncturist can be really helpful. I know people that it's really helped. I understand that using the chakras as a analogy for things can really help. But this man needs to go to an ER. Like, holy shit, dude. Does anyone know this average white man, and is he okay?
I'm concerned about him. He says, I got home, spent a night not sleeping, piercing the tips of my ears with a body-piercing needle until the blood flowed down my face, and went for a walk at 4 a.m. during which I visualized cradling my infant self to my heart. I bought incense and set up an altar the next day. I also spoke with one of the facilitators, and as I did, waves of pure panic surged through my body.
Okay, how much is this guy on? Because let me go back to
I feel like he's been hallucinating for the last fucking week.
Right? Okay. I talked about it earlier, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay. It lasts an hour. Is this man taking it all the time?
I don't know what the fuck
did
is up.
he have...
I think he's taking a million drugs at this point.
Yeah, or is he... Did he have... Because I know sometimes you can have a bad reaction to something, it can stay in your system longer. Is that what happened? Is he just constantly
if it
on it?
permanently fucks up your brain, especially with he's doing so many drugs, you can experience, like, permanent psychosis from shit like this. Like, it basically causes you to have schizophrenia. And then you are schizophrenic for the rest of your fucking life.
I feel like this episode and the last episode is just our version of This Is Your Brain on Drugs.
Yeah.
'Cause holy shit, man. Keep going.
This was pre-verbal, pre-ego terror. That of a baby left alone with no one to help him regulate his nervous system. No knowledge that anyone would ever come back. It had blocked me from my life force for 40 years. I thought I'd fucked up completely and set myself up for a life in a mental institution.
I thought this guy was like 23, I'll be honest.
He spent years, I guess, just doing these drugs. I didn't sleep with the light off for a week.
Yeah, because you were tripping balls the whole time and you couldn't figure out how to turn it off.
It says nuclear blast-sized orgasms promise total oblivion if I just accepted them. I'm certain I was presented with opportunities for enlightenment. I was simply not brave enough to accept the annihilation that came with them.
I have so many questions and I'm afraid to ask any of them. Oh my god, this hurts my brain.
Holy shit.
I reiterate what I previously said. This man died, his ghost is on toad toxin, and he's writing this through a Ouija board because what the fuck?
I'm so concerned. A month after the ceremony and numerous increases in sensual sensitivity later, I'm back
This sounds like
a better normal.
This sounds like a DMT sex cult.
A month later, he's saying... Oh my god, he says not enlightened, but happier and more content.
Given how Homeboy wrote this, I don't think he's back to normal.
And not in the fucking slightest.
Unless he was always
permanently
like this.
fucked up, I don't know.
Jeez Louise, okay.
He says, delighted to spend time with my young children. This man has children? Oh my god!
CPS! I'm scared.
It says, be very, very careful with 5-MeO-DMT if you have any indication that you had pre-verbal trauma to complex PTSD level. I'd advise against taking it alone and without very experienced and physically and mentally strong facilitators.
Didn't he start this out by going, I was with professionals?
Yes! So it's like, and you still had a really fucking bad experience, so like maybe...
Don't lick toads,
maybe we
y'all.
shouldn't.
Don't lick toads.
Oh my god, okay. That's fucking crazy.
So that is all I have for my episode. Don't lick frogs, don't get stung by jellyfish, and be safe.
And go to go to an actual like therapist or
And
something
if you are proper
having mental
doctor.
issues. Yeah. Don't take drugs about it. That's never the right solution.
Yeah.
Unless the doctor prescribes said drugs to you.
This is your brain on drugs.
Thank you for listening. If you liked it, please rate the podcast and share it with the weird people in your life. Follow us on Instagram at whataboutweird.pod, where we often share pictures related to the episodes. We are also on Blue Sky as What About Weird Pod. If you have any topic suggestions or personal weird stories, please DM us or email us at whataboutweirdpod@gmail.com.
And always remember
To ask about the weird.
Bye for now.